Hi, Brother Wilson. So this is my lesson plan. I am Cynthia, and I am gonna be teaching, as you already know, um, a dance from Mexico. It's called Veracruz. So Mexico is divided in states, and every state has a specific dance, specific typical dance, specific music and outfit. So I am gonna be teaching Mariah how to dances from Veracruz, which is a state in the east coast of Mexico, and it's really pretty. I really like those dances. So as I've been preparing the lesson, I realized that everything you've taught us works. I'm impressed. All the Most of the 100 concepts I have studied, and I've seen those concepts applied in my lessons. So I'm gonna explain a little bit more of this. I'm gonna talk about the domains that I'm gonna be seeing tomorrow in the lesson I'm gonna have with Mariah. First, the cognitive domain. She's gonna be having a lot of cognitive activity because she's gonna be watching me doing the steps, and then she's gonna try the steps. So it's a lot of thinking is gonna be going on tomorrow. Also, she's going to learn just a few Spanish words. So that's also cognitive. She'll be thinking about it. Also, the psychomotor domain. That's gonna be a big part of this lesson because we'll be dancing, and um, she'll be moving her body. So psychomotor domain will be a big part of this lesson. Also, the zone of proximal development, the ZPD. I am not sure um, where what her CPD is in dance, but I assume that she has not been exposed to this type of dance because it's not common here in the United States, because it is from Mexico, and I understand that. So assume, I think that everything that I'm gonna be teaching her is gonna be new for her. And I chose a specific dance from Veracruz called La Bruja, which translated into English means the witch, which is interesting. I can tell you more about because the lyrics talk about a witch, but it's funny. And so anyway, um, so I chose that song because it has easy steps, and the movement of the skirt is easy to very slow. So I think that's gonna be in her ZPD. It's not gonna be super easy because she hasn't done it before, but it's not too hard. And I don't want something too hard because I don't want her to have debilitating anxiety. Um, but if while I'm teaching I see that um she's doing the steps and she's learning very fast, then I'm gonna teach more. I'm gonna teach harder steps so she can like keep improving and learning. Um, Also about motivation, I have intrinsic motivation because it is my culture, and dancing is has been my hobby for years and years, and I love this type of dance. But she hasn't been exposed to it. So probably at the beginning she's gonna be having extrinsic motivation because I am gonna be asking her to do it. But um, I would like her to have intrinsic motivation. And what I'm gonna do to achieve this in her is I am going to show her different videos of different prototypes of this dance, and I'm gonna have the music loud in the room so she gets excited. And I am also going to um, be very expressive and happy so she gets excited too, and she has that intrinsic motivation. Another thing I'm gonna do to help her have intrinsic motivation is not just I'm not just gonna teach the steps and how to move the skirt, but I'm also gonna teach her where the state of Veracruz is. I'm also gonna teach her how the outfit should look like when you're dancing that type of dance. So I'm gonna be teaching other stuff, cultural stuff, so she understands a little bit better why she's doing it. And I think that's gonna help her have more intrinsic motivation. Um, Also, what I could see is imaginary audience. If I see that she's embarrassed when she tries a step and it just she didn't do it right, and then she gets embarrassed and she doesn't want to try it again. That's because she has imaginary audience. She thinks that there's people that are watching her how she makes mistakes, which we know it's not true. So when that happens, I'm just gonna say that's okay. We'll make mistakes, so let's keep trying. And I'm gonna do the steps slower so she can see slower. Also, there might be misconceptions about different concepts that I'm gonna be teaching, and to avoid this, I'm gonna explain her the defining characteristics of the dance, which is the outfit, specific steps, specific instruments um, that are played in the music from Veracruz. So I am gonna be very specific in the concepts that I'm gonna be teaching to avoid misconceptions. But if there are misconceptions, and will it will they will we will possibly have misconceptions, I'm gonna address them by asking questions to her during the lesson. Also, because because I assume she has not been exposed to this type of dance from Mexico, I think she will probably have low self-efficacy. I am not sure. She might have a very high self-efficacy, and that would be perfect. But if she doesn't, it's okay, um, because it's a new experience for her. And I think that when we experience something new, we'll always have low self-efficacy. Um, but if she has self-efficacy, then I'll be encouraging her like, hey, it's okay, you can do this, and I'm gonna be showing her the steps slower. Um, Also, I am gonna be, as I told you before, I'm gonna show her some prototypes, some videos of prototypes of people dancing Veracruz. And one of those videos is the advertisement that I made for her. And in that advertisement, I am in the Summerfest and I am showing her how some girls are dancing Veracruz. Well, let me tell you that all of them, yes, all of them had not danced Veracruz before. They didn't dance any Mexican dance before. Some of them are Mexican, um, some of them are were born here in the United States, but none of them danced before. So I'm gonna tell her that to help her see that she can also do it. They didn't know, but they were able to dance. So um I'm gonna say that to her, and that also will lower her state anxiety because I'm sure she's gonna have some state anxiety because of the situation that she's gonna be in tomorrow. Um, and so the goal is that state anxiety becomes a facilitating anxiety. So this anxiety will help her to learn better. Also, what I'm gonna do is I won't be having anybody recording us while the lesson is going, because I don't want her to um I don't want her to get embarrassed because somebody else is there and is watching her. So I won't be having anybody record. I'll just put my computer and I'll record. I'll just, hit play and we will start the lesson. Also, um, about mastery learning, I won't move on to the next step until she got the first step. So I'm gonna teach her how to do a step called valseo. So until she gets it, I'm gonna be teaching how to do faldeo, which is how you move your skirt. And until she gets that and she can do it by herself, then I'm gonna move on and teach her more concepts. So that's what I'm gonna do so she learns. Also, the physical arrangement of the classroom. The classroom where we're going to have the lesson is a dance classroom where there's mirrors, and that's gonna be perfect because she can see me in front of a mirror and she can see herself, so she can see where she's doing something wrong or where she doesn't look very well dancing. She can um, correct those mistakes by looking at herself in the mirror. Also, physical climate, I will be using informational language because I don't want her to feel like I am um, like a tyrant just telling her do this and this and this, because that's gonna be detrimental to her learning. So instead of using control language, I'm gonna be using informational language, and that's gonna create a good environment, a good physical climate. Also about proximity, uh, I will be I will be in front of her, showing her the steps, and I think that's the best way to do it. So I'm gonna be like here facing the mirror, and she's gonna be behind me facing me. If I face her and then she faces me, then it's gonna, because we're like mirroring, it's gonna be kind of hard for the faldeo. For the movement of the skirt is gonna be okay, but for the steps it's gonna be hard. So I'm gonna be facing the mirror, she's gonna be facing me, facing my back, so she can do the steps easier. Also, I will, if when she's doing the movement of the skirt, if she doesn't make it smooth and the way it should be, I am going to come closer to her. I'm gonna stand behind her, and I'm gonna hold her arms, and I'm gonna um, move her arms in the correct movement. So I'll be very close to her. But by this time that I do this, I hope that she's gonna be um, um, she's gonna be okay with me by doing this, you know. So that's gonna be the proximity, and then contagious behavior. I am gonna be very excited because it's my culture, and I love dancing. So I hope that my behavior is gonna be contagious for her. She's gonna feel the same way. Maybe not at the same level because that's not her culture, but I expect her to feel happy about this that she's learning. But I know that depends on me a lot. Um, as I told you before, I'm gonna be showing her prototypes of some different types of some different Veracruz dances, but I will also specifically show her the dance that I'm gonna be teaching her, La Bruja, as I told you before. And also as a prototype, the outfit that Veracruz dancers wear is all white, white skirt, a white shirt. So it's all white, white shoes, the special shoes that dancers use, dancers wear. And that's why I asked Mariah to bring a white shirt, and this is gonna help her, that her outfit is gonna be the closest to the prototype. And I'm gonna be giving her um, a white skirt, so so she feels like she's really dancing Veracruz. Also, memory system. Her sensory register is gonna be working all the time because she's gonna be watching me doing the steps, and then she's gonna try, and then her working memory is gonna be doing a lot too. So I'm gonna be doing the step, she's gonna do it with me, and then we're gonna do it together. And then I am gonna let her do it by herself, and I'm just gonna be watching. So that's where working memory comes in. Um, Unfortunately, I won't be able to assess the long-term memory because I won't be with her later. But here's where I need your help, and I will explain later about this assessment of long-term memory. Also, this dance and this culture is not in her schema, and neither is Spanish or a person with a Spanish accent. So it's gonna be interesting how this is gonna work. I will also um, write down. I'm just gonna be teaching her 5 words in Spanish, which is falda, jarana, vaso, valseado, and faldeo. And I made these note cards because I'm gonna be teaching her these words they're in Spanish. So when we're learning a second language or a foreign language, it's easier for us to remember or to memorize a word if we see it written. So that's why I did this for her. And I'm doing this to avoid failure to store, hopefully. So I'm hoping for that. Um, to increase her self-efficacy, um, I am gonna do something. I am going to teach her all the steps, which is there's only two steps. Well, there's one step which is a balseado. There's one movement of the skirt, and and then I'm also gonna teach her how to hold a glass with a candle inside on her head. So she has to dance with the candle right here. And after I teach her all these steps and after she masters them, um, then we're gonna prepare a choreography. But I am not gonna be the choreographer. So I'm gonna tell her, okay, here we're gonna do this step. Okay, so now what can we do? Because I am gonna be dancing with her. So she and I, we're gonna prepare a choreography and we're both gonna perform. So I'm gonna ask her, okay, so what can we do in this part? Do you wanna like just dance in circles? Do you wanna like go back and forth? Do you wanna go like in lines? What do you wanna do in this on the stage? So she has some control on the lesson and her self-efficacy increases too. Um, and I think that's gonna be really good. It's gonna be simple, but it's gonna be really good for her. This experience may cause her disequilibrium because this is totally out of her schema, but it's gonna be a good experience for her. Also, Howard Gardner, who came up with the different intelligences, you know, I was reading about this, and she's gonna be experiencing linguistic, musical, and kinesthetic experiences, intelligences. So that's gonna happen in the lesson. Also, when talking about positive and negative transfer, this is very interesting. Um, so the word valseado comes from the word vals, and vals in Spanish is the dance that in English is waltz. So waltz, just because in Spanish we can't say waltz, we say vals, and then valseado is the step that we do while we dance waltz or vals. And so she knows waltz. She knows what that is. I don't know if she's danced that before, but I'm gonna ask her, have you danced waltz before? And if she says yes, I'm gonna teach. Well, even if she says no, I'm gonna teach her the step valseado, and I am gonna see if there is a positive or a negative transfer because this step valseado is very similar to the basic step in waltz that is that exists here in the United States. So I'm gonna see there if there's a positive or negative transfer. If she um if she does the same step that she does in waltz here in the States, and if she transferred that correctly or incorrectly into valseado. So that's gonna be interesting. She's gonna be using a lot of parts of her brain. She's gonna be using the neocortex, which is because she will be performing brain functions such as cognition, generation of motor commands, and language in this lesson. She will also be using the cerebellum, which doesn't initiate the movement but contributes to coordination. And to dance this, we really need coordination because we're going to be moving the skirt at the same time as we're moving the feet. Also, she's going to be using her frontal lobe because memory, we're going to use a lot of memory. She's also going to use the occipital lobe because that which is where the vision is received. She's going to be watching me. Also, she's going to be using the motor cortex, which is the region of the cerebral cortex involved in the planning, control, and execution of voluntary movements. She also, it's going to be very interesting to see her cueing. Um, I'm excited about this. I'm going to be paying attention to her body language, her gestures. Maybe she's confused about something I'm saying, and that's going to be her cueing. Another part of this lesson is not only the dance, but the exposure to the culture, to a different culture, and also exposure to a person who is not a native English speaker like me. My English is not perfect, so I'm gonna be making mistakes, and sometimes during the lesson, I'm gonna be making mistakes on purpose, um, to see what her cueing is. I want to see if she understands what I'm saying, if she asks a question like, "What did you say?" You know. So I want to see that cueing in her, and I want to see how she interacts with me, with a person that is not fluent, or is not, or has not perfect English. Also, the attribution theory. If she's having a hard time with a step, or if she's having a hard time with keeping the vase or the glass on her head, I am gonna ask her, why do you think is this is being hard for you? And what I want to see with this question is if she thinks that the reason why she is not being successful at it is internal or external. For example, if she says, "Oh, it's just because it's too hard," that is external. But if she says, "Well, I am American and I just can't do it because we can't dance," that's gonna be internal, you know. And which this idea of Americans can't dance is just an overgeneralization, because I know a lot of Americans that can dance. And with this question of why do you think this is being hard for you, I'm also gonna see if her attribution theory is controllable or uncontrollable. And from there I'm gonna move on and I'm gonna do something about this. And now about I'm gonna go back to the long-term memory. So my plan was to invite um, my friends who are gonna be strangers for her, and I wanted to invite them at the end of a lesson and ask them to see us performing. So Mariah and I will be performing in front of them, and I wanted to see this social interaction. I wanted to see if she's embarrassed, if she doesn't want to do it, if she will, but she's making more mistakes because people are looking at her. But unfortunately, my friends couldn't come. They're not. They're busy tomorrow with finals. But what I'm gonna do is I am gonna record the our little performance of her and then I am gonna ask her to go home and and show you and the family everything she learned in the lesson, and tell you what she has learned. Like maybe if she remembers some of the Spanish words, if she remembers the music, she can look up music, you know, in YouTube and show you what Veracruz looks like. And and with this, I'm gonna see if she has if the information is in her long-term memory, and also she's gonna show you the videos. So if I would like to ask you to be to observe how she reacts when she shows you guys the video. I want you to see if she's happy when she's watching herself dancing, or if she's like, "Oh, that wasn't bad. That was bad." You know, so I would like to see how she reacts when she watches the video. I'm gonna show her the video of us after we record it, but I would like to see how she reacts in front of her family. So that's pretty much my lesson. I'm really excited about this, and well, thank you very much.